friends, it's me, Phoebe, and we're back with another redesign video. I know, it's been a cool minute, but I'm back. I've returned, and we are finally redesigning Ayano. I forgot how many videos I've made so far, but now we're finally redesigning Ayano, and I really hope you guys like this redesign, because I'm actually, like, really proud of this one, because I feel like I made Ayano look more interesting, and I also wanted to make her look, like, intelligent, cunning. I don't know. I feel like with all the stuff she's gonna be doing, that she's done, like, in game and stuff, requires, like, a lot of intelligence, and I guess I wanted to portray that in her. And, I gave her glasses, I kind of wanted her to match with Taro, because I'm like, if they're technically gonna be soulmates in the end, then might as well make them look cunty together, you know what I mean? So this is her being cunty. I feel like I gave her like an office siren vibe, and yeah, I don't know. She like definitely looks like an anime character, like definitely. Because I feel like with my other past like redesigns, like sure they look anime, but this one's like just like anime. So yeah, I really hope you guys like this little redesign, and I hope you guys like her little uniform. I actually really love this redesign of Ayana, because she doesn't look boring now. She doesn't look boring, which I get. She is, I guess, technically supposed to look a little plain and simple because we are trying to portray ourselves into this character, I guess. But you know, but and if you guys are new to this channel, or well, new to the series, what I do in these videos is I read the wiki so they can find out more about this character. And today, the victim is Ayano Aishi. So yeah, let's go ahead and read her Wikipedia. Ayano Aishi, aka Yandere-Chan or Yan-Chan, is the main protagonist of Yandere Simulator and an academy student. She's the 11th Aishi family member. So yeah, her name is Ayano Aishi, alias Yan-Chan, Yandere-Chan, role protagonist. She's in class 2-1. She's in a club, but it does vary. Her persona, devoted, lovesick according to the official website. Reputation 0, which you can change. Crush Taro Yamada or Teiko Yamada, which is Senpai's female counterpart. Strength variable. And then voice actors unknown from 2025 to currently. Michaela Laws was her voice actor from 2015 to 2023. And then Moisaurus is responsible for the Yandere laugh. Which, okay, cool. I actually follow Michaela Laws, and I think I try to play her the 2 games she's made. I know she's made one of them. I think it was called Seduce Me, I'm pretty sure. I only played a little bit of that game. I was like, this is like a long time ago, but I wanted to play it for the channel. But I don't know if it's available like on like what is it called, mobile. I don't know. Maybe one day. But anyways, her appearance default, because I believe we can change her appearance. Maybe. Ayano has pale skin, dark gray eyes, and straight mid back length hair. She stands at the height of 165 centimeters, 5'5", weighs 43.5 kg, 96 pounds, and has an average. Not reading that. Her hair is tied into a high ponytail with sharp bangs swept to the right, the middle one being the most prominent, and 2 strands of hair that frame her face, reaching her shoulders. Her signature color is black, and it's also her favorite color, which reminds her of Taro. Ayano's hair can be customized by the player when utilizing the mirror at the Aishi house as of November 15th, 2024 build. The player is able to change her bangs, side locks, and ponytails, give her a braid across the top of her head. There are over 500 possible hairstyles. However, bald patches may appear on Ayano's head with specific styles, which Yandere Dev says he plans to fix. The player can pick between Ayano's original hairstyle or a customized one. School. She is usually portrayed wearing a default school uniform, a white and navy blue sailor uniform, and with a red mini scarf, a matching navy blue skirt, and black shoes. With all uniforms, she wears black thigh-high socks. The player can change the school uniform during the intro part of the game. When performing at the Light Music Club minigame, Ayano wears a black off-the-shoulder dress, black wrist warmers, a black ribbed stocking on her left leg, and calf-high black and white zip-up boots. When she is in Baruza town, she wears a teal green shirt, blue denim skirt, black thigh-high socks, black gloves, and sneakers. I don't know why I look at that fit and I'm like, that I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know. It doesn't go well. It doesn't go well together. I feel like that's the ugliest one. I fear it is the ugliest outfit that Ayano has. And y'all can disagree with me, y'all can agree with me, I don't care. I think that's the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. And why is she wearing black gloves? Like, I get it, we go into town, we buy shit, to like help our game so that we can kill all these hoes, but like, this is the ugliest outfit I've ever seen. Anyways, Ayano can also purchase hair dye, bleach her hair blonde in order to meet one of the requirements for joining the delinquents. When she is a delinquent, her hair will be blonde, and she will wear a mask along with some piercings on her ears. Outside of school, Ayano wears an extremely plain and simple clothing. Yandere Devs imagines that she just grabs the rightmost shirt from her shirt drawer and leftmost skirt from her skirt drawer without any concern as to whether they match. She might observe what other girls are wearing and dress like them to blend in and attract less attention. Yeah, because girl, those outfits that you be wearing, ugliest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Others. The player can also change her appearance by altering the streaming assets folder. If Easter eggs are activated, the player will be able to give her a different hairstyle by pressing the H key. The player can also give her eyewear accessories by using the P key. They can also random miscellaneous accessories using O. And I'm not saying that last one. Several Easter egg modes alter her appearance. Okay. Yeah, no, like, I don't know, I fear she doesn't have the best wardrobe. And I get it, it's for convenience, but girl, if you're trying to get the attention of your man, if you want to just capture his eye, like, don't coordinate your outfits, girl. It's not that hard. I did it in high school. Like, my outfits were coordinated, my makeup was popping, like, the fuck? Yeah, she wears the ugliest stuff in clothes I've ever seen in my life. Okay, personality. Ayano Aishi is the protagonist of Yandere Simulator. She is known as Yandere-Chan to two players of the game and has been given the cute nickname Yan-chan by her classmates. Why are they calling her Yan-chan? By her classmates? Do they know she's a Yandere? Isn't that supposed to be, like, hidden? Something's not adding up. Something ain't adding up. Since early childhood, Ayano has suffered from an inexplicable, incurable condition. In short, this condition leaves her with a perpetual sense of being empty, hollow, and incomplete. As a result, she has never been able to experience satisfaction, fulfillment, or happiness, has not been able to experience emotions in the same capacity as other people. As she grew older, she learned to pretend to be a normal person in order to avoid drawing negative attention from others, but was never able to feel any degree of empathy towards other humans. Ayano attends a post-high school academy called Academy. On the first day of her second year at Academy, Ayano comes into physical contact with a young man named Taro Yamada. In that moment, she gained the ability to experience everything that she has been missing her entire life. She felt complete, fulfilled, and felt powerful emotions. Meeting Taro was like seeing color for the first time and hearing music for the first time, and feeling warmth for the first time. In his presence, she felt overwhelmed with euphoria, but as soon as they were apart, the feelings of emptiness returned. After just one meeting, Ayano had become hopelessly addicted to Taro's presence, and came to rely on him in order to feel alive. Then Ayano saw something horrible, something that terrified her and infuriated her at the same time. It was a young woman who clearly had deep feelings for Taro. If Taro entered a relationship with this girl, then Ayano might lose him forever. Without a moment's hesitation, Ayano knew exactly what had to be done. This girl, her rival, had to be eliminated as soon as possible, by any means necessary, no matter what the cost. Yeah, so that young woman would be Osana Najimi. And if you guys saw my Osana Najimi redesign video, I made her a lesbian. Y'all can fight me. I made her a lesbian, and I made her lesbians with Raiburu. And if I swear to God, if I get to redesign Raiburu, ooh, she's about to be mask. She's gonna present mask, butch. I don't care. I have ideas. ooh, they're inside my brain, but this video is about Ayano. But yeah, I read, because earlier I was what was I looking for? Well, I was looking in the Wikipedia for something. I forgot what. But I ended up on like the Aishi family tree or whatever the hell. And it looks like one of her cousins or something is like trying to find a cure for the condition that the Aishi family suffers, which is kind of crazy. I didn't know the lore went this deep though. I don't know if I like it going this deep because is it like let's be realistic. She's just a yandere. Like she's just like I don't know. It's like I feel like it's just kind of corny if that makes sense. You know, like you guys have seen my video. If you guys have seen my video on my OC that I made, like I made 2 hour long videos about her. Like I didn't go deep into like family history and stuff like that. Like I literally just said that her dad, like her parents are dead. Well, her mother is presumed to be dead because her mother abandoned her when she was a child. Um, or when she was born, really. But but it's like I don't know. I feel like it didn't need to go this deep, but you know, whatever you want to add, Yandere Dev, whatever suits your needs. Ayano has suffered from a fictional type of insanity referred to as the Aishi condition. For as far as for as far as she could for as far back as she could remember before meeting Taryamata for the first time. As a result, she doesn't have the ability to feel emotions, empathy, or remorse, as it would be difficult for Ayano to enjoy any experience due to the sense of something is missing. She doesn't feel guilt, shame for harming others, however, she can feel pity. She knows what general people consider to be wrong but doesn't care. Due to her condition, she is shown to be extremely selfish, uncaring of others, caring about pursuing Taro, as she believes the one who made her complete is the only thing that matters to her, much like her mother. Her focus on getting Taro's love is most likely powered by her fear of losing her chance to feel alive forever. Ayano is also shown to be extremely delusional, believing that she is more worthy of Taro's love than any other rival because they could never love him as she can, as evidenced by when she saw Osana Najimi. Even if she did not trigger the senpai effect, she would not date anyone. I mean, we could just make her era ace in that fact. Because, you know, she's obsessed, or like demi-romantic, but kind of era ace. And I think it's demisexual, but I don't. Demi-romantic, I mean. But I don't know. I'm just like reading all this and I'm like, girl, like it's like I forgot the new name for, or the correct term for sociopathic, but this is like it's kind of looking to be that way, but not really. I don't know. I don't like how it's called the Aishi condition. I don't know. But I guess I get it. Ayano's behavior does not perfectly match the definition of either a sociopath or psychopath, but she is capable of actions that only a psychopath would consider taking. She's usually bold, egotistical, very sensitive, and bad-tempered, especially when it comes to Taro. She doesn't see the point of fighting most students non-lethally, as they will just report her. She is capable of non-violent elimination methods in order to cause less stress for Taro, or to run less of a risk of getting caught while doing something violent. She can also be described as docile, with her true nature hidden, as being slapped by someone would result in her not reacting or fighting back in her best interest in most situations. Her true nature can show a hypothetical situation where if she had to kill a person due to a life-threatening situation, example, a bomb collar around her neck that would explode if she didn't kill people, she would be second in terms of being lethal. According to Inkubasu, Ayano's bloodlust could be detected while she was passing her in the school hallways, while Saikyu commented that their mother's energy could be felt in Ayano, like she had multiple layers, one of them being human and one reminding Saikyu of her mother. While Ayano is cunning, she does not threaten people, as she doesn't want to arouse suspicion from others, believing that she is a murderer. She doesn't want to be known. She tries to avoid gathering any kind of attention to herself, as she deliberately avoids other people and speaks only when necessary. Ayano socializes just enough to not be considered a loner, but not too much to be well known by her classmates. As such, if Ayano were given a gift like a flower, she'd come up with an excuse on the spot so that she could politely refuse it. Her hobby is trying to convince everyone around her that she's a normal girl with normal feelings. She understands expectations for a girl her age. As such, she buys manga, plays video games, and rides a bike to project the image of a regular school girl. However, she doesn't enjoy any of it, and it does it because she is expected to have some degree of familiarity with those feelings. Ayano does study crime documentaries. She learns to be a normal girl by eavesdropping at her school to learn what girls her age are doing or watching. If Ayano is asked about her, she can provide an answer and falsify her personality as a normal person who knows and enjoys the same things that other people her age know and enjoy. In her free time, she's usually researching and learning about things and items that would trick people into thinking she's a normal girl. If she has set a goal, she spends her free time advancing herself towards it, single-mindedly like a robot. For example, her schedule between 6 and 8 p.m. is eating and completing her homework. The only time she would play video games is if she met Taro and wanted to protect him. She may play Hitman as a virtual training tool. That's kind of crazy. Okay. She can tell when someone is pretending to be a social chameleon, hiding their true nature, as she's been doing it her whole life. She's also a chameleon who is advancing to be a better chameleon. Despite this, she would also most likely never become a club leader. Jesus. Hello? Anyway, overall, Ayano is a blank slate whose personality is determined by the player's actions, choices, but all players have the capacity to commit each of the possible actions in the game. In the event of being stalked, she'd realize that someone was following her and would probably confront the stalker directly. She'd speak to the stalker with a simple, neutral statement that carries the message. If Ayano picked a club, she'd join the occult club. Which is, kind of crazy, but, whatever. What the hell? I'm older than her? I didn't know, because the game has been out for like 10 freaking years. Okay, anyways, no, because apparently background. Childhood. Born on March 31st, 2008. I was born in 02. I was in, kindergarten. That's crazy. So what year is it? Why is it called 2XX if she clearly has an age? Like, if she clearly has like a birth date, why is it still like 20XX? And like, why is like 1986 something, that mode with Ryoba, like, why does that have a year and why does this one still doesn't? Like, isn't she like 15 in this game? 18? Something. I don't know. But like, shouldn't it be like that year? Or is Yandere just waiting for the year that this game finally is complete, which is gonna be like never, but you do you, boo. Anyways, Ayano is the daughter and only child of Ryoba Aishi and Jokichi Yaresi. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. She was born with the same condition as the other Aishi. Jokichi desperately tried to help their daughter, which included taking her to hospitals, doctors, and examinations, but not therapy. Unlike Ryoba, he wasn't aware of the condition. Ryoba tried to explain the condition to him, but he didn't want to listen to her words until Ayano began to pretend to be more normal. Lessons from Ryoba. At some point, Ryoba told Ayano that she was exactly like her when she was a child, and that one day she'd meet someone special who'd complete her, just like she did. However, as part of the promise to Joki, she never told her of her past actions. Despite the promise, Ryoba still found ways to teach Ayano how to get away with murder and to dispose of evidence. At some point, in Ayano's early childhood, Ryoba accidentally cut her finger with a knife while they were making dinner together. She asked Ayano to clean the blood while she was bandaging herself. After Ayano did, Ryoba informed her that the blood was still there. She then took luminol from the shelf next to her and sprayed the place where the blood was. Afterwards, Ryoba turned off the lights and showed that the blood was still there using a black light. She sprinkled the area with some peroxide at this time, and this time, the black light didn't show any blood where it was before. Ryoba taught Ayano to have zero liabilities and minimize potential associates who could betray her as such. Ayano's motivations for befriending students was purely manipulative. She will get rid of them if they get in her way. She also taught her to always be aware of how many witnesses are nearby. As such, Ayano always keeps an eye on her surroundings and the people around her. The game's future inventory, the custom skirt, was made by Ryoba in April of 1989 and given to Ayano, who declined, seeing no use for it. However, after meeting Taro, Ayano found many uses for it and started wearing it on the first day the player gains control of her. That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of weird. I'm judging. I don't know if that's obvious, but I'm judging like hella hard. Enrolling in academy. During Ayano's middle school years, Ryoba expressed that she would be happy if Ayano would go to the school and see that Jesus. During Ayano's middle school years, Ryoba expressed that she would be happy if Ayano would go to the school that she and her husband attended, academy. She felt that she would meet her someone special there, just like she did. Ayano decided to fulfill her mother's wishes with the hope that she would finally feel satisfaction. After focusing on learning intensely, she was accepted to academy when she was 17. So she's 17. And we still don't have a year? The exact year? Whatever, dude. Jesus. But did not feel the desired satisfaction. Instead, she focused on the idea she would never be like normal people. The following year, both her and her parents took a 10-week vacation to America. Ayano has never sung a song outside of school anthems. Why did we need to know that? I don't know. Meeting Taro. Before meeting Taro, Ayano was just drifting through life without any purpose. A few days before beginning the game, Ayano bumps into him in the hallway, immediately experiences emotions and sense of completion. She then finds out about his childhood friend Osana, who has a crush on him. Ayano expresses intense jealousy and anger over this, as she feels Taro is hers. After stalking him for a while, she receives a text from Info-chan, who reveals Osana's crush and that she plans to be confessing to him on Friday. The idea of getting rid of Osana forms, and the game begins shortly after. Relationships. Ayano is disliked by those who have a grudge against Ryoba, such as Kocho Shunyona and Megami Saiko. They have no respect for her and do not tolerate her presence in academy. Ayano can detect Sumire Saitozaki's presence because of Sumire's hatred for Ryoba and her bloodline. Taro. Ayano acts perverted and lovesick towards Taro, wanting to go into the boys' shower room to admire him. And she tries to and enjoys trying meals that she has seen Taro eating because it makes her feel closer to him. She also keeps a senpai shrine in her room, which she would get rid of to keep him after she got into a relationship with him. What Ayano feels isn't lust or a crush, but more like seeing color in a gray world. In fact, it might not even be romantic, since Taro just seems to give her new sensations. The ceiling is so strong she'd be willing to sacrifice her own pet if Taro was allergic to it. However, she doesn't simply want to own him or have him nearby as medication for her condition, but wants him to be in love with her. If someone called Taro ugly, she may be unable to express some negativity about it publicly. But secretly knows that the person who called him ugly won't be an obstacle to her, since they would avoid Taro. And although Taro would be completely useless in a zombie apocalypse, she would rise to exceptional fighting ability if his life was in danger. Ayano appreciates anything that makes him happy. So far, if she were asked her favorite food, she would respond with Taro's favorite, which is sushi. She would not object to anything that would make Taro happy as long as it isn't another girl. Because of that, he could use her if he wanted. However, if he ever insulted Ayano, she would punish him and might even break him to fit her ideals as in an ending. Ayano's opinions and tastes are molded by Taro's because she believes that sharing opinions and tastes would make her feel closer to him. She is very sensitive to his touch and would be ecstatic if he petted her. If she had a time machine, she'd go back to her first year and try romancing Taro normally to fixing any mistakes she made. Ayano also tries to embody the traits her previous rivals had, such as improving her cooking ability to replace what she took away from Taro. Ayano would likely never deface the confessing tree, as she would confess to Taro underneath it one day. If Taro imprisoned her with the intentions of rehabilitating her, Ayano would pretend to be fixed for him to release her. Once she manipulated Taro to releasing her, she would reverse the situation, make Taro her prisoner, or take whatever course of action to become his girlfriend. If she accidentally hurt Taro, Ayano would feel a mixture of depressed emotions. However, she's okay with traumatizing him in order to eliminate a rival. Her life is directly tied to his. If Taro ever committed suicide because of her, she would do the same. If Taro died in an accident or from some disease, Ayano would fall into a deep depression and coma-like state. She would refuse to eat and eventually starve to death. If Taro were to be murdered, Ayano wouldn't rest until she was 100% sure she'd killed his murderer in the most painful way possible, and she would gradually fall into depression coma. If she knew who had done it, but they already died, she would feel a cross between deep hatred and total hollow emptiness. If Ayano and Taro grew old and Taro died first, Ayano would kill herself. When the player sees Taro freak out, they see Ayano perceive the situation exaggeratedly. Ayano will state a true, clear statement that spells out exactly how she feels about Taro in the true ending. Yandere Dev envisions this to be the final dialogue before the credits roll. While she stopped being pet by Taro if she were a pet by anyone, she politely but firmly asked them to stop. Family. Ayano is the only child of Ryoba and Jokichi Yoresi. She is indifferent to both of her parents and would not sacrifice Taro if forced to choose between him and them. Whilst Ayano could kill anyone on Earth without feeling anything, killing a family member would cause her pain eventually, especially her mother and father. She would do it as a last resort. To her, losing Taro is equivalent to dying. If she had to kill her mother and Taro to get to Taro, she would do it. The rest of her family is not very close, since as soon as a family member finds love, they do not usually spend time with others. Ayano may not have even met most of her relatives. However, nobody is on bad terms with one another, although some of her family members consider her more weird due to Ayano being numb in general. Additionally, as a Wiki, Aishi studied Ayano since Ryoba allowed her to make some sort of conclusion. Ayano has little to no relationship with a specific Aishi, as she thinks it's some relative who seems interested in her. Ayano and Ryoba have impressive crafting skills because of the Aishi family is highly successful in textiles industry, producing everything from rugs to garments with the highest quality around. The family passed down the skills of sewing and weaving fabrics for generations, reaching Ayano. Ayano does appreciate her parents for raising and caring for her, even feels gratitude for it. However, her emotions towards her parents are not extremely strong. It is known that if Ayano ever decided to have kids, she would view and treat them and raise them similarly to how her mother did to her. Ayano may have siblings in another timeline, but Yandere does explain that it's so removed from the main timeline, he never considered it. He compares it to coming up with an entirely new story that has zero similarities to the current story. Ayano's opinions on her two maternal grandmothers, Dozuki and Kataba, differ. She views Dozuki as a rude grandma and Kataba as a friendly great-grandma. I guess that's kind of crazy. That's crazy that she'd be willing to kill her family for him. You know, even though it's the last resort, it's still kind of like, stand up, stand up. I would be telling her to stand up. As a lesbian, I'd be telling her to stand up. Okay. Ryoba Aishi. Didn't we just read about her family? Whatever. Anyways. Ayano believes that her mother is kind, pure, warm, gentle, innocent. Her mother loves her dearly because of... Ayano believes that her mother is kind, pure, warm, gentle, and innocent. Her mother loves her dearly because Ayano is the physical manifestation of love between her and her husband. Ryoba knows about her daughter's non-existent emotions and heeds it no mind. She told her daughter that someone would come complete her one day. If she saw Ayano in a relationship, she would be happy to see that her daughter had found love. Ayano already knew her mother was a serial killer since she was surprised to hear about it, so she searched about it on her computer and learned about the trial. Ayano had flashbacks about her mother subtly teaching her tricks or methods to easily get away with murder. If Ryoba got caught for the murder of the journalist, she would be concerned. If Ayano were killed, her mother would have the exact same reactions as any other parent who loses their child. However, if Ayano were to get either expelled or arrested, Ryoba would be disappointed, as she believes she taught her better than that. If Ayano sees a Grey View magazine that Ryoba was in, she would be surprised, but not necessarily shocked. Ayano understands that her mother's a beautiful woman. Jokichi Yudedesi. Jokichi loves Ayano despite having suspicions about her, but he does know her true nature. In her childhood, Ayano noticed that her father would constantly be worried about her and started pretending to be normal, as she started to pity him. Afterwards, there was no longer a reason for her father to worry about her. However, Ayano suspects that Jokichi had eventually realized she was faking her normality, but keeping it to himself. Despite this, her research by understanding girls her age, what girls her age like, and do has aided her into keeping a facade around her father. Despite her pity for him, Ayano doesn't actually treat her father normally, and wouldn't even care if he died. If Jokichi murdered Ryoba, Ayano would feel betrayed as she trusted her father to take care of the family and not to destroy a crucial part of it. She would stop seeing Jokichi as her father and would see him as the person who killed her mother immediately. She would probably avenge her mother's death by murdering her own father. If Ayano had prisoners in the basement, Jokichi would have zero tolerance over it. Info-chan. Ayano's only current ally is Info-chan that have a strictly professional relationship. Ayano otherwise works completely solo. In both intros, it seems that one of them might see see their reasons for doing what they're doing as justified, while the others is just insane. Infochan's attitude and beliefs towards Ayano may be affected by the player's actions. Ayano will never stop worrying about Infochan reporting her to the police, since Ryoba told her never to have a liability or confidant. Ayano does appreciate Infochan's information but does not really want to work with her. It is possible for Ayano to use Infochan for basic info on students to identify her rivals without ever giving her any panty shots, meaning that Infochan may simply be used by her without anything in return, except maybe making Osana suffer. It is a huge spoiler to say what would happen if Ayano didn't take panty shots or kill students, which would help Infochan. Yandere Dev wants it to influence some events near the end of the story. Rivals. The rivals, except Megami Saiku, will never know that Ayano exists unless she befriends them. They will never know they have competition. Ayano is fine with eliminating them as long as she gets her obsession. Taro, in the end, Ayano seems to believe, as long as she gets her reception, Taro in the end. Ayano seems to believe that she is more worthy of Taro's true love than any of the rivals in the game, as a result of being influenced by her mother, Okaruto. If Ayano befriended a rival, she'd most likely pick Oka. Osoru Shidesu. Ayano may have the chance to meet Osoru before the latter weeks if she joins the delinquents. However, this plot problem, Yandere Dev has Yandere Dev sure what to do about it. Others, students. If she were to befriend students in order to be her normal, Ayano would not likely make friends with popular girls to not be noticed by too many people. If she becomes very popular, students may stalk her in the future, complicating things for her. On the other hand, it would be optimal for her to refrain from becoming an outcast, so she likely wouldn't make friends with delinquents or outcasts. She would make friends in between people who aren't popular but aren't bullied or outcasts. In other words, she would become friends with normal people, plain students, or wallflowers. However, during actual gameplay, it's up to the player's choice. Other students don't think much about her and her intentions, and those are her intentions. Ayano tries to be boring and unnoticeable person, someone who is not seen as an asocial outcast, but also not noteworthy enough to talk about. If someone spoke up about her, it would probably just be for the sake of being polite. Sometimes people who interact with her feel like there's something off about her. Students can develop crushes on Ayano, and she hasn't been asked out by one. If someone developed a crush on Ayano, she would not be affected. She would reject them while trying to stay in character. On the outside, she would act like a shy schoolgirl who cannot accept their feelings. On the inside, however, she would think of them as an insect and needs to be swatted. Ayano is nicknamed Yan-chan by some students as a result of the academic name tradition. In any other school, her nickname would be Aya-chan. Ayano's reputation being damaged than other students is a result of observers not understanding Ayano's reaction to being splashed. Despite being drenched with a liquid, Ayano would still maintain her straight face, resulting in other students thinking she is weird. Now there's a bunch of other stuff that I do not want to read because I'm just trying to get through this. Oh, well, there's not that much left, I guess. But there's stuff about her with Kudere and Midori Guren, Kocho Shona, Inkubasu, the Basu sisters, Borupen Saishiki, and the bullies, but I don't want to read all that. I'm surprised they don't have the schedule up because all the other characters seem to have a schedule, but not hers. Well, I guess because we maintain the schedule, but you know what I mean. Ayano was added to Yandere Dev's Jesus Christ. Ayano was added to Yandere Dev's characters on September 30th, 2016. Her name Ayano in Japanese is written as in Kiranga in kanji. Aya, that means figure, design, twill, or pattern of diagonal stripes. Aya, that means color, both. Oh, Jesus. Apparently okay, so I'm trying to read this, but, I can't show all the characters and stuff. But apparently her surname is a combination of love and death, which, cool, I guess, but whatever. Yandere Dev planned to continue calling her Yandere-Chan forever, but then it felt like it was goofy and then decided to pick a proper name for her. One of Yandere Dev's first ideas about Yandere-Chan's name was that it could mean murderer, for which he suggested Satsu Jinsha Satsu. However, he redesigned from this idea, decided that her name would include Yan somewhere, as he leaned toward Ayano, because there were fewer Google searches for that name. Okay. Yandere later explained that Jokichi gave Ayano's name to her as he didn't want his daughter to be like her mother and the rest of the family, and incorporated his wish into her name by blending the Japanese word color for Aya. And by giving her this specific name, he hoped that she wouldn't suffer from the same problem that the rest of her ancestors had. Yandere previously stated that her birthday was April 1st. He now says it's March 31st. She's asexual. Kirimotoba from Himoto Yumaru-chan reminds Yandere of her. Ayano was not meant to resemble Yunogasai from Future Diary. Yandere has imagined that there would be very few circumstances where Ayano might be murdered, but the chances are very slim. Ayano, Ayato, Oka, and Buru Matsuo are currently the only characters that have a pillowcase product in the official merchandise site. Additionally, Ayano and Oka plushies were officially released for a limited time, but they are no longer available for purchase. Weird. In the scenario where L was in Yandere Simulator, L would probably be able to conclude that Ayana is a serial killer by considering the factors surrounding her and the crimes that occur around her, but he wouldn't have firm evidence against her to arrest her. He would just have to set up a situation that would entice her to a crime. Ayano may have the ability to find the solution to the Aishi condition as an alternate ending instead of pursuing Taro, however, only within the first week. If she decides to defeat the Basu sisters, it would lead to an alternate ending that doesn't involve confessing to Taro. She may move to Tokyo, but Yandere said she would not like to reveal the plot reason as to why she will do so. The reason why Ayano is not offered food from the cooking club in the game is that she simply told them no food please and got her name crossed out on the catering list. Yandere would have given Ayano a black cat as a pet had she not canonically had a bad track record with cats. She would also only adopt a pet to use it as a tool, as training it to dispose of evidence and distract other people and bring her stuff. At week 10, when all her stats are maxed out, she would have the same academic skills as Megami. Ayano initially only ate food to avoid an emaciated appearance. However, after she met Taro, she experienced a heightened sense of taste. If Ayano graduated from academia without finding her senpai, she would probably ask the other Aishi, specifically Azebiki, for advice on the most practical ways to find her senpai, and would eventually get a job that involves frequenting physical contact with new people. If Ayano had a sister, she would be willing to kill her own sister if she felt necessary to be with Taro, just like Kuji did with Hiki. There are certain people whom Ayano would never want to fight since they are some troublesome obstacles, like an experienced fire or an experienced serial killer, especially one from her own family. But even though she would not be intimidated by them, she would still put forth an effort to stop them. Ayano only watches foreign drama if everyone at school is talking about it. Ayano gets to academia in 15 minutes at a leisurely pace. If she's in a hurry, it would be about 5 minutes. Ayano is not allergic to bright colors. And that is it for Ayano. I'm surprised that they didn't have a schedule for it, but again, we make the schedules. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this redesign video, because I actually just I did it all in one day, even though there's like a cut, because when I was doing the line art, my hand started to hurt a lot, which it doesn't really do often, but it really depends. But yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like the redesign, and feel free to tell me if you guys like it too. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. But yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to do all that good stuff. All my social media is gonna be down in the description, along with the Discord server. Feel free to join it, and my commissions are also open on VGen too. And yeah. But yeah, I love you all, little lambs, and I will see you all in the next video of whatever I make. Bye bye.